Hey everybody, I'm Melanie McGray and welcome to the Nourished Body Online's Pilates for Sciatica. A lot of us deal with some sciatica at some point in our lives, and the sciatica is really that pain you feel in your hip. Sometimes it radiates down your leg. It can be on a level of 1 to 100 pain-wise, and it happens because of a few reasons. Something in your back is going on that's pressing on that sciatic nerve, or something in the hip is going on that's also pressing on the nerve. So we're going to do this class today to give you some relief. I have a ball, I have a TheraBand, and I have 2 soft yoga blocks. And I'll give you alternatives to these props as we work, but let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go onto all fours. We're going to be hands and knees down on the mat. And I'd like you to place the ball or the blocks or a towel, you can use a big bath or beach towel, between the legs. And we're going to just start with a good squeeze between our inner thighs. So I want to feel like I'm pressing away from the floor. And this can also be done, you guys, on your forearms too. If your wrists are giving you trouble or it's just too hard to hold it for a long time, you can come down onto forearms. But the idea is that we really keep this neutral spine the whole time. And then I want you to feel that long head to tail length. The abs are drawing up into the back, and I have a nice long flat back. And I'm going to tuck my knees together. I'm going to kind of get them pretty close so that I feel like I'm really squeezing this ball. And we're going to do some breath work. So we're going to take a breath in, and we're going to squeeze the ball with our inner thighs. Now think of like the inside of your knee joint and above, hugging onto that ball. Soft feet, arms are placed and holding steady, back of the head is up, and then release that. Let's do that again. Nice deep breath in, exhale out, pulling the abdominals in and squeezing and hugging onto that ball. We're going to hold the squeeze for 5, for 4, for 3, oh yeah, for 2, and 1, and release. So good morning, inner thighs, right? Let's do a couple more of those. Nice deep breath in, easy elbows. Exhale, hug the ball, squeezing and maintaining connectivity. We hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Good. We have one more to go. When you squeeze the ball, make sure we're not tucking the pelvis. You're going to keep the pelvis really long so it doesn't round. We're not doing this. That compresses the back a little bit. We're keeping it spacious. Last time, exhale, squeeze the ball, holding for 5. Feel your abs pull up. 4, 3, 2, and 1, and release. Great. Okay. Now from here, we're going to maintain the hug on the ball, not as hard of a squeeze as we were doing, but enough to give it a good snuggle with your inner thighs. And then we're going to work the arms moving away from the body. So take a breath in. On an exhale, you're going to slide that right arm out in front of you, holding the core and giving that ball a little bit of a squeeze. We're trying not to sway out onto our thigh, onto our hip as much. Equal pressure through both legs, both knees, and hand. Good. And bring that arm down. Let's try the other side. You're also welcome to put something underneath your knees if you need a little push. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Reaching that arm long and holding for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. Good, and bring it back down. We'll do one more round on both sides. So again, nice inhale. We start our exhale. We pull our abdominals in and squeeze the ball. And then we reach that right arm and holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bringing it down. Back of the head onto the spine. So sometimes even neck things can cause a little bit of sciatica too. So we want to make sure that neck is nice and spacious in the back and not crunched and not too forward. Last time on the left, squeezing the ball, inhale, exhale, Reaching that left arm, palm is facing inward. We hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, and bring it down. I definitely feel my core starting to warm up. All right, let's take a little break. Go ahead and just walk yourself back nice and smooth and sitting on your feet, or you can come to a seated position. So this is a really great one. Why are we doing this? Because we want to fire up this center and this inner thigh midline. Because what's happening is sometimes we need some real support through that center versus the outside to take some pressure off the outside stuff. So let's go ahead and come around. Now we're going to go ahead and sit on our bottom. And we're going to have our feet in front of us. And we're going to sort of do a similar thing here. We're going to place the ball mid-thigh, so a little higher up towards the groin. We're going to squeeze the knees together, squeeze the legs together, and feet are on the floor. All right, so from here, I want you just to have your arms down, and this is a good place where you can grab blocks, or you can also use some towels or pillows or something, one on each side of you, so that you have, and hands can be any direction, you have something to sort of press away from and feel like you can stay fairly lifted without losing your spinal alignment or your length. So here we go. We're going to kind of do the same thing here. We're going to take a breath in. We're going to exhale and squeezing that ball and holding for 5, for 4, lifting the chest, 3 and 2 and 1, and release. Good. Taking an inhale. We do that again. We exhale, we squeeze and we hold. Feel that pelvic floor really lifting. And we hold for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2 and 1. Oh yes, my legs are a-shaking. Let's do one more. Take a breath in. Nice exhale. Feel the abdominals hugging up and in. Grounded sit bones. We hold the squeeze for 5. Easy neck. 4. Easy jaw. 3, 2, and 1. And release. Good. All right. Release the ball from your legs. Release your legs long and just give them a little wiggle. So you might feel some hip flexor work happening also, and that's okay. Our hip flexors need to be strong and working, and we're trying just to get some more integration of our inner thighs working versus our outer thighs doing some work. Okay, so the next one, we're going to go ahead and come on down onto our backs. I'm going to booty walk my way down here. And then from here, I want you just to go ahead and roll down smooth onto your back. And then you're going to lay your head down. I'm going to scoot a little forward so you guys can see me in the center of my mat. You're going to take the ball and place it between those inner thighs again. So it's right above the knee joint is where you want that ball to be, or a towel or a couple blocks, something to squeeze. All right. From here, arms are going to go down by your side. And we're going to take this opportunity, and I'm just going to set this down. Okay, so now that we're on our backs, we have the ball in between our knees, or a little above our knee joints, in between our inner thighs, and arms are down by your side. The feet are grounded into the floor, and we're going to do some bridging. So we're going to hug this ball as much as we can, and we're not going to roll our pelvis. We're going to press our pelvis and lift it up in the air. We're not going to go to our full bridge yet. It's just about halfway, and I'm squeezing onto my ball and making sure that I do feel the inside of my feet as well. Take a nice deep inhale here, and on your exhale, reconnect through your core and lower your pelvis to the floor. Nice and even, so you're not articulating through the spine. You're just letting it come down and going up like a board. Take another breath in, good squeeze of the ball, exhale, find your abdominal support, and then press the pelvis up off the floor. Hips go into the air, and I have that good squeeze on my ball. Now, while we're up here, keep breathing, but if you think about your leg bones, your thigh bones rolling inward a little bit onto that ball, that'll give you a real sense of your inner thigh connection. Take a nice inhale here, and then exhale, abdominal support, and lower the pelvis. Think of letting your tailbone go down first. Yeah, nice. Let's do about 3 more of those. Take a nice deep breath in, exhale, hug the ball, draw abdominals in, and float the whole pelvis in one piece up off the floor. We're gonna maintain the position, the space we're holding. My hips are going a little bit higher now, I'm a little warmer, and we're gonna hold for 5, keep breathing, 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Woo, and lower that pelvis down. So what you might be feeling is a whole lot of hamstring and a whole lot of glute, okay? Legs and booty, but what we need is we need some of that back strength to give our bodies some support. We can't just stretch. Actually, overstretching is not a good thing for sciatica, so we want to give it some oomph too. So we have 2 more here. Nice deep breath in. We're going to squeeze the ball, abdominal support, lift and raise the hips off the floor, holding here. Soft jaw, soft neck. Make sure the shoulders are wide. Shoulders are down away from the ears. Just gentle holding for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. Ooh, and come on down. Awesome. We have 1 more time, and this time we're going to stay up at the top. We're going to do a little pulsing with the ball. We're going to do a little pulsing with our legs around the ball. So keep it breathing. Nice deep breath. Exhale, abdominals. Squeeze that ball. Rise the pelvis up in the air and hold that lift. And we're going to squeeze the ball. Squeezing. 3 and 4 and 5. We're going for 10, 6 and 7 and 8 and 9. Last one, 10. Hold it. Take a breath. Go ahead and lower the pelvis down onto your mat. Wow. Yes, let's take the ball away for a moment. And all we're going to do is we're just going to let the legs lengthen. Sometimes we would splay out in a little butterfly position, but that's kind of impinging the hips. So instead, we're just gonna let the legs long and maybe flop the feet in and out just to rest and kind of soften that muscle up again. Good. All right, from here, let's let that come to a stillness, and then we're gonna bring those legs back up. Knees are bent. All right, so now here's our next one. We're gonna place the ball off to the side. We don't need the ball for this one, or the towel or your prop, whatever. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to do a one-legged bridge. So I'm going to draw in one of my knees into my chest. I'm going to hug it in and give it a good squeeze. And this is actually a nice low back stretch too. So my pelvis does tuck under a little bit and my ribs are still soft. And then from here, I'm going to try with all my might to lift my pelvis again only on one leg. Oh my gosh. All right, so let's do a nice deep breath together. A good exhale to feel those abdominals connect. And then press into that left leg and rise up. Now I'm going to keep the squeeze, and I'm going to make sure if I glance down at my leg that my left leg is not reaching, is not moving out to the side. It's really straight down from my hip, and I'm going to hold this for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. And then I'm going to lower that back down to the floor. So I'm doing the same bridge I was doing before. I'm really trying to lift the pelvis in one piece and bring it down in one piece. We're going to stay on that side for 1 more. Let's take a breath. And exhale. Feel those abdominals connect and press those hips up in the air. And we're holding for 5, for 4. Wobbling is okay. 3, and 2, and 1. Good. And bring it down. Wow, what a difference. with 1 versus 2. Okay, let's switch those legs. Now, if you're not getting really high in the air, no worries. Just go to where you feel like you can maintain the position. So I'm going to draw this left knee in. I'm going to keep my right leg straight down from the center of my hip, taking a nice deep breath, feeling my abdominals hug, and pressing in that right side and up. And I'm going to hold for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1, and lower that pelvis back down onto the mat. Good. All right. Let's do it again. We're going to do 2 more, 3 total. Nice deep breath in. Let's exhale and pressing the hips up in the air. The first one's always sort of like a trial run, right? To figure out what to do and what to use once we're up there. Feel that crease where your butt meets your leg, that little crease pressing up towards the sky. Good. And lower back down. All right, we have 1 more. Keep your breath going. Deep inhale, good job. And exhale. Feel those abdominals connect, pressing up and really holding here for 5, for 4, feet grounded, 3, and 2, and 1. Good, and lower that pelvis back down onto the mat. Woo! Okay, again, let's let that leg go down, that left leg. Let's extend our legs long and just give it a little shake in and out. So that's a real challenge. It gives us a sense of maybe one leg stronger than the other, and that's maybe a sign of, the one that isn't as strong, we need a little more work on. So it's just something to assess, and it's also just really good because you get to strengthen each leg on its own without the help of each other. All right, while we're here, we're going to do a stretch now. So we're going to take a figure 4 stretch, and you're welcome to put a towel or a ball or a block behind your head so that you feel like your ribs can soften down to the floor. Or if your head is really far back, like this, then you need to definitely bring something underneath your head to bring the floor kind of up to you so that your head is in line with your shoulders, your spine is in line. I have a little hair bun that I'm using. So from here, we're going to cross the right leg over the left leg. So you may have seen this in many modalities, yoga, Pilates, whatever. But it's a good stretch because it offers a position that's not too unsafe depending on what you have going on in your back. So here is the option number 1. If you already are feeling stretch in this position, then you are more than welcome to just stay and breathe. Your stretch should be mainly felt in your right hip, your right cheek there, okay? Then the next level, if you need a little more stretches, we're gonna take our hands and weave them through and underneath, picking up our leg underneath our left thigh, and I'm gonna go ahead and just hold that position. And now here's where we start to kind of disorganize our body. So think of both of your hips still even, both sides of your sacrum are weighted, both cheeks essentially feel some weight onto the floor. Your tailbone is reaching down into the floor. You're not curling your pelvis, you're not pressing your lower back into the floor. You're actually releasing, making a little bigger of an arch in your lower back and reaching the tail long. Now, if you want to take it to level 3, if you're good there, stay there and breathe. Level 3, we're going to release the right hand from under the thigh and put that against the right thigh. I'm going to give that a little pressure, pressing the right leg out more as I pull my left leg in more. Now I'm still maintaining my tail down into the mat, still maintaining a little baby curve underneath my lower spine, and my hips are still even, so I haven't scrunched up one side. And then we're there. Okay, so there's your level 3. Let's take it for 3 breaths, everybody together, inhaling and exhaling. And inhaling and exhaling. One more, inhaling and exhaling. Good. All right. Wherever you are, just let that come down, let that release, and both legs on the floor. Let's take the other side. So variation 1 again, just crossing that left ankle over the right knee. Maybe we're there and we already feel stretched. Then you're good. You can stay and breathe. Level 2, we weave our hands underneath our right thigh and we're bringing that thigh in towards our body. But we're not allowing the pelvis to disorganize. So we're keeping both cheeks a little weighted on the floor. And my tailbone is down, a little space in my lower spine. So we're holding that. And then level 3, if you need a little more oomph, we take the left hand out, we press it against the left leg. So I'm doing a little dual action here, pressing the left thigh out, pulling the right thigh in. And I'm still keeping organized in that pelvis. So steady pelvis, easy ribs, tail is reaching. And now we can take nice big 3 breaths all together. So we'll breathe in and exhaling out. And breathing in and exhaling out. And one more, breathing in and out. Good. And then just gently, let's bring that down. Everybody release your position there. And just let's rock the pelvis gently side to side. So that's a great stretch because you're on your back and you're able to stretch and reach your legs without having to bend over so much and make it too awkward. All right, from here, let's lay on our side and come on up. Okay, so we're gonna do a little side bridge, which gives our hips definitely some work and stability. So come on down onto your elbow. Elbow is right underneath the shoulder here. And we're going to be knees bent, feet are flexed, and the other hand is either just down by your side or it can be on your hip, or you can take it all the way to the sky and reach it as we do this. So the first thing is we want to make sure that this right shoulder is really into its place. So we're not slouched, we're pressing down and we're feeling that good lift coming up off the mat. Squeezing the legs together, hips are stacked. We're going to take a breath in. And on an exhale, gather those abdominals and we're gonna lift up and hold here for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. Good, and lower that back down onto the mat. 2 more times like that. If you wanna bump up a notch, you can extend the legs long and lift the hips and rise and hold there. Everybody up, come on up, and we're gonna hold for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. Good, and come on down. All right, we're gonna do one more. I'm gonna go back to the knee bent variation. You can stay with the long legs if that feels good for you. Go ahead and take an exhale, hold the abdominals, ribs up, and rise for 5, for 4, head is on your spine, 3, and 2, and 1. Good, and come on down. Awesome. Go ahead and use your arms to come on up and we'll swing around and we're gonna do the other side. So this one is really great, like I said, for maintaining some stability through your hips. And what we want to make sure again is that the shoulder just stays into place. Yeah, and it is shoulder work too, so you're getting a little 2 for 1 here, but that's all right. We usually get about 5 for 1 in Pilates. So take a breath in, lifting the ribs up, shoulders in, exhale, pressing up, and we're holding for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. Good, and come on down. Again, level 2 is we're gonna stretch those legs all the way out and do the same variation. Take a breath in, exhale, and lifting for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. Good, come on down. Good, let's bend the knees again or stay in long if you feel good about that. Let's exhale last time, hug those abdominals, rise up, and we hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great. And lower the pelvis back down. All right, using arms, you can come all the way up to sitting. Okay, so the next variation we have requires a TheraBand and 2 yoga blocks or a good sized pillow or some books stacked up, something that you can use as a prop to hang on to. TheraBand is great to have. Medium to light is awesome to start with. We're gonna build a little bit of hip strength here. So we don't need many, but we need a little. So what I'm gonna do is wrap this TheraBand around my thighs. I'm gonna tie it in a bow. And this is a blue, so this is a medium TheraBand, medium weight. Tie it in a little bow like a present. Yes, okay. And then we're gonna open the knees about the width of the hips here. Now, if you don't have a TheraBand, no worries. You can just do this with no TheraBand, but it would be great if you could get a TheraBand so that you can really feel the resistance work. That's kind of key here. So my hands are on my hips to start with. I'm gonna take my left arm out to the side and I'm gonna reach it down towards my prop. So the idea here, I'm gonna reach mine forward. The idea here is when I side bend into this action that I don't kick back in my hips and I don't stick those ribs out too much. So we're gonna just side bend, and you may need more. You may need to stack it up higher in order to do that. From here, I'm gonna lean onto that slightly, and then I'm going to take this right knee off. Okay, so I have stability going on this left side, and my mobility is gonna happen now. I'm gonna open the thigh and I'm gonna lower it down. I'm gonna exhale and lower, and I'm gonna exhale and lower. Now you can always put something underneath that knee for a little cush if you need it, but we're really trying to maintain long length here. And then I wanna think of my booty really working to open this thigh, but I am keeping parallel. I'm not opening it out. I'm really thinking of the side of my leg moving towards the sky. We got 4 more, 4 and 3. Good, and 2, and then this last one we're gonna stay there. Oh goodness, we're gonna stay there and do little pulses for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. Woo! And bring it down. Now we're gonna try to put that knee down without letting go of our prop, and then from here we're gonna use our core to come on back up. Awesome. All right, let's do the other side. So I just turned my block on my side. I felt like that was all I needed. So that's all I need. I'm gonna just use that. You can use whatever you need to make that happen too. Okay, so back stacked onto our knees. We have a hand on our hips to start with. And then we're gonna go ahead and reach the arm out, side bending, reaching for that prop. Nice and tall lift through the bent side even. And then I'm gonna shift my weight up onto that right leg. Try not to weave out. I'm gonna try to really keep that hip sucked under into the socket. And then I'm gonna take this leg and I'm gonna lift it 1, and I'm gonna lower. And exhale 2, and lower. And 3, and lower. Lifting long 4, and lower. Now, a lot of times you're gonna feel work on the standing hip too, and that's great. And 7, okay, we got 1 more here. We're gonna stay on that number 8 hold, and we lift little ones, 5, and 4, and 3, woo, and 2, and 1, and bring it down. Okay, let that knee come down, shift more onto both, take a nice breath in, and use those abdominals to come on up and come back to center. Awesome. All right, let's do 1 more round of that. So switch that block over again. Just gonna remove that block completely. All right, so hands on the hips, left arm out, nice deep breath in. Side bending over, leaning on to that left side, but not leaning out, leaning on and up, lifting the right leg up and reach it. 1 and 2, great, and 3, and 4, woo, and 5, I'm feeling that, and 6, and 7, last one, and 8, and we hold it here, and we do our little pulses for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. Ooh, come on down. Put that knee down. Go ahead and take a breath. Exhale, bringing the body all the way up. Awesome. Let's take it to the other side. Last time, place your prop down, hands on the hips. Reach the right arm out. Nice deep breath. Side bending over, reaching, leaning onto the right, but not leaning out. So we keep that hip bone under, we keep that femur bone, the leg bone, in the hip socket. And then we rise. 1 and lower. Lift up out of it. 2 and lower. So try not to sink in that standing hip. Good. And 4. The second round's a little more intense because you already did 1. 5. Whew. And 6. We're getting there. 1 more. 2 more. And 1 more. 8. Okay, let's hold it and little pulses for 5, for 4. Lift and breathe. 3 and 2. Oh yes. And 1. Whew. Okay. Put that knee down. Take hand and weight off and use the exhale to come on up. Fantastic. So let's take the TheraBand off now. You're just going to undo the bow. Unwrap yourself here, and you can just set your TheraBand off to the side. All right, we're going to do 1 more stretch here. So we're kind of combining work and stretch, which is exactly what you need when you have symptoms or suffering from sciatica. So go ahead and put the props, 2 yoga blocks or a ball or a beach or bath towel. Either one is going to work, but you want something close by you in case you need to prop yourself up in this stretch. So this is a pretty common yoga stretch. It's pigeon, so we're gonna turn onto our side. I'm gonna turn side. You're gonna turn and move onto all 4s. And you're gonna take your right leg, okay? I'm gonna move my props up so I can show you with them. I'm gonna take my right leg and slide it forward. And then I'm gonna wiggle that bottom foot out and from underneath me and then slide my back leg back. Wiggle it back here. All right. So from here, we're in this pigeon stretch. And what we need to know in pigeon is that this isn't right for everybody. Yeah, it might feel good for you, it might not, depending on what your body needs. So if you're ready for another stretch, you can go back to the one we did previously in this series, and that figure 4 one on your back is another great one to go back to if you need it. So in the pigeon stretch, what happens is that sometimes we can't get the butt all the way down onto the floor. So we need to bring the floor to us. So that's where your props come into play. You can have a ball or a towel underneath there, and it feels so much better because you don't have to strain in order to get down low. So here we are. The back leg is long. The back leg, the top of the thigh is looking towards your mat. Your other leg, the heel of your right leg, is either close to you or far away, and that's going to change the amount of stretch that you feel, and it's different for everybody. And then I'm just here with my hands, so I'm not even like going all the way down. I'm just going to stay here. I'm going to give myself a little more active stretching because what I don't want to do is just fall into my joints and compress things. I want to give space and some energy and a little bit of support as I do this stretch. So I'm staying here. My heart is reaching forward. I'm going to try and tuck my pelvis here a little bit. So I'm trying to kind of pull my lower back towards the end of my mat. And that's going to give me a nice front hip flexor stretch too. And we're just going to be here and we're going to take 4 breaths. And if you aren't feeling a whole lot, that's okay. We don't always have to feel everything so intensely. Sometimes a gentle stretch is better than a full-on hardcore stretch, because it's gently letting the muscle go instead of forcing it into something. All right, let's take a breath. Inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. 1 more. Inhale. 2 more, sorry. And exhale. And last one, inhale and exhale. Great, all right. Use your hands for support. Slide the prop out from underneath you. Gently roll onto that cheek, and we're just gonna take it on the other side. So we take the legs forward, swing them around, We're back to all fours, kneeling. We're gonna go ahead and take that left leg, slide it forward, wiggle out that front foot, and then slide the back leg back. Take your prop if you need it, press it or put it underneath your left hip, your left glute, and then go ahead and let your body kind of press down onto that prop. Reach that back leg really long. Hands are pressing away from your mat. Your chest is forward. The collarbones are wide. We're drawing our tail under us so our lower backs are reaching towards the back edge of the mat. And we're just gonna take nice, good 4 cycles of breath here. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And again, inhale and exhale. Last time, inhaling and exhaling. Great. All right, go ahead and use your arms and other leg for support to slide out the prop from underneath. Let that cheek come down and let those legs swing back around. All right, so for our final moment, we're gonna take one more stretch, but this one is a passive stretch. So this is one that we totally relax into and are able just to let the leg bone, the femur bone, sink back into the hip socket so that there's a little more relief in the joint. So we're gonna roll on down. So here we are down on our mat again, and I have 2 yoga blocks that I'm going to use for this, but you're welcome to use a big bolster, a big pillow, towels, whatever you need to sort of prop up underneath your knees. We're gonna go ahead and take the blocks underneath the knees in a lengthened position. You might have to adjust as you go into this a little bit more. And what I'm looking for is that when I'm down on my mat, that my legs can just soften, okay? So I just kind of let my legs open, flop open, and that's whatever is underneath me is high enough so I feel like the legs are being pulled back into place. Now this is a little low for me, but I'm gonna stick with it because these are the props that I have right now. But you're also welcome to put your legs up on your couch or on a chair so that you really have sort of this 90-degree angle, and that's also amazing if you can get to a spot like that and then just do it from there. A stool will do, a small table. But really you want to feel these bones coming back in. And we're just going to go ahead and let our hands be on our pelvis, or by your side is fine also. We're going to take some deep breaths, just a nice big inhale. Close your eyes. You're trying to really soften and let go of the body so that you don't hold any tension, and we're just releasing. Even I can feel like I'm holding my lower back, so I'm going to allow that to go a little bit. And let my hips go a little bit. Let my tail drop down into the mat. See if you can sort of do a body scan. Check in where that tension is and see if you can give it a little gentle breath and a release. So we can start that scan now. At the top of the head, we'll scan the top of the head and feel like that's weighted into the mat, that our eyebrows are soft, that our eyelids and our eye sockets are not squeezing, but they're soft back into our skull. that our nose, the bridge of our nose, our cheekbones, our ears are sort of dripping back into the mat. That our jaw or teeth, the roof of your mouth, your tongue, those things are also soft. That your throat, your collarbones, your shoulders are heavy and weighted, easy. Your ribs, your organs, your pelvis is heavy into the mat. That your leg bones feel heavy. That your arms, all the way from your shoulder to your elbow, from your elbow to your wrist and your hands are heavy. From your hips down to your knees, from your knees down to your ankles. Your ankles are heavy, your feet are heavy, your toes are heavy. The body's gently letting go. Softening and deepening. And together we will take 3 full breaths, inhaling deeply and exhaling to release. Inhaling deeply and exhaling to release. Inhaling deeply and exhaling to release. Take one of your arms, your hands to your heart. Take the other hand to your low belly. Feel your breath naturally rise and fall in your hands. Continue this breath as you continue to deepen and soften into your body. I'm going to leave you here today so that if you need extra time, you can take that extra time for yourself and for your body to reconnect, recalibrate, and restore. Thank you.